What an absolute wild one at Oriole Park at Camden Yard this afternoon. And somehow, some way, the Blue Jays mount the 6-3 comeback to beat the Baltimore Orioles 7-6 in extra innings. And we're going to break the whole thing down. But before we go any further, I got to give a shout out to the boys at Fan First Network, allowing us as BlueJaysCentre to make the trip to Mississauga to be in the Invitational Hockey Tournament. It was an absolute blast today. They ran a hell of a tournament. It was just really well run. They did an awesome job. And we won a game, knocked them out. No, but it was a lot of fun. Appreciate them having us go out there today. And it means a lot for our page to continue to grow, and things like that do help a ton. So we appreciate them, and awesome tournament run. You guys did an amazing job. Let's break this thing down, shall we? Because it was wild, okay? First inning, let's start there. Gunnar Henderson scores in a wild pitch. I hated that for Alejandro Kirk. The way he tried to block that was just no bueno. Not going to happen. Kind of goes, he doesn't even really go down, tries to scoop it, really. He just hits his knee pad and flies away. With runners in the corners, and Gunnar comes in to score. It's 1-0 just like that. However, next half inning, Kirky at the dish gets a breaking ball and drills it to left field, and it's gone! First homer of the year for Alejandro Kirk. This is the thing about Kirky. He's a line drive guy. If he's hitting line drives and hitting the ball hard, that's what he's at his best. The ground balls, no, we don't like it. Because we all know what it ends up as. But it's his first homer of the year. Jays lead it. No, they tie it at 1. Bottom half of the second inning, though, Blue Jay killer Ryan Mountcastle veers his ugly head as he drives one to left field, and it's gone for his first homer of the season to regain the lead for the Orioles. But then we go to the top of the third inning with guys on first and third, nobody out for Vladdy. He fires a single to right center field for a base hit. Davis Schneider comes in to score, and the Blue Jays have tied the game again. It's now 2-2. But then the bottom half of the third inning, Adley Rutschman hits into he hits into a force out. Is that when? Yeah, that was when whatchamacallit? Andres Jimenez tried to throw Gunnar Henderson at the plate. Didn't get either guy. So that sucked. And just like that, they regain the lead. And then the bottom of the fourth inning, Tyler O'Neill gets a hanging changeup from Jose Barrios. Kabang! His second home run of the year. Both off of Jose Barrios. And they now lead it 4-2. Not what you want to see if you're the Blue Jays. But in the top half of the sixth inning with Ernie Clement in scoring position, Miles Straw dumps a single in the right field for a base hit. Ernie comes in to score. Jays are within 1. It's 4-3. But then the bottom half of the sixth inning. Ground ball to first to Vlad. Doesn't make the play. Goes off, I think it was his foot or his arm or something, into right field. Heston Kjerstad comes in to score. Ryan Mountcastle comes in to score. And Jackson Holliday ends up at second. And just like that, let me check this real quick. Was there 2 out in that inning? Bottom six. Bottom six. Here we go. We got Tyler O'Neill, Kjerstad, reach on an error from Bo. So no, there was only 1 out at the time. But that's an important job, right? I think it was first and second at the time. You had a chance for a double play, and I think that's probably what he was doing. He was thinking too much about turning and firing to second base and didn't have the ball. Tough play from Vlad, and it's 6-3. We go to the top of the 8th inning, and things get wild for the Blue Jays, right? They bring in Gregory Soto to start the inning. And Andres Jimenez, against the lefty, doubles to left field for, hey, okay, we got a guy on base. Got a guy in scoring position. Long way to go, though. Kirky, again, line drive to left field, down the line for a base hit. In comes Andres Jimenez. Kirky ends up at second. They each trade places. It's 6-4. Tying runs now at the plate. And Tyler Heineman goes into pinch run for Alejandro Kirk. And Ernie Clement hits an infield single. Okay, so now we have guys in the corners now. Miles Straw. He gets out in a sacrifice bunt. I butchered this completely. Sorry, he's infield single. Heineman doesn't move up. So you have guys at first and second, but then Miles Straw gets a sac bunt down. He gets out in the sac bunt. So both players move up. So now you got second and third for Davis Schneider. He gets out. Now there's 2 away for Bo Bichette. But on that RBI, on that ground out from Davis Schneider, Heineman comes in to score, making it a 6-5 ball game. Ernie ends up at third. The tying run's 90 feet away with 2 out, and Yennier Cano coming out of the bullpen for the Orioles to face Bo Bichette. And he singles to left field, a line drive to left for a base hit. In comes Ernie, and somehow we are tied. Crazy stuff. Right? And nothing happens the rest of the way. Jeff Hoffman does his job in the ninth. We go to the top of the 10th inning. Very close play on the pickoff at first base. Ernie Clement, for God's sakes, if you were out there, brother, that would have been bad news for you. But he gets called safe. And Miles Straw, it's great when you have speed and you just hit a little 10-footer. Well, it wasn't 10-footer. It was halfway to third base. But he beats it out. In comes Andres Gimenez to give the Jays the lead. It's now 7-6, and in that bottom half of the 10th inning, with Jeff Hoffman still on the hill. He gets Cedric Mullins to ground out, but now you have a guy at third base. The tying run's 90 feet away with only 1 out. Strikes out Tyler O'Neill, and Ramon Laureano called out looking on the slider, and Jeff Hoffman's hyped up, but he's not just hyped up. Goes, dabs up Kirky, and then gives the Orioles bench a little kiss. Want to know why? Well, they had agreed on a contract before the season, before the Blue Jays had signed him. Then they saw his physical or his medicals or whatever, and they were kind of like, we don't know. Maybe we're just going to pull that contract back. And the Blue Jays are like, all right, cool. We'll take him. So a little bit of sour grapes there between him and the Orioles, and I get it. And when you go out there and you stuff it down their face, I love it from Jeff Hoffman. He's a dog, and we Jays fans, we love him like crazy. In the big moments, he has come through. He's going to have his warts at times, right? We know that. But right now, it is a beautiful sight to see Jeff Hoffman come out of that bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays. And they win this game. They split the series somehow. And they go, is it going home to face the Braves? Or is it in Atlanta? No, at home against the Braves tomorrow night at 7:07. And you're 9-7 in first place in the American League East. Regardless how you look at it, that ain't bad. You're 3-3 against the Orioles to start the season. You're 3-1 against the Red Sox in the American League East. You're doing a fine job, even with Bo, Vlad, not having a home run yet this season. However, Bo's getting a ton of hits. He had 2 more today. He's 2 for 6 with an RBI. Vlad 2 for 5 with an RBI. Don't like the whole fact about the error, but did they call it an error? I don't even know if it was. Regardless, Santander had a hit as well. He was 1 for 5. Andres Gimenez 2 for 5 with a couple runs scored. Kirky had a great day, 2 for 4, runs scored, 2 RBIs, a homer, and a double for Kirk. So that's very, very nice to see for him. And Ernie Clement. The talk recently has been about him not being great so far. The bat's been kind of useless. Actually, not kind of. It has been useless. 4 for 5 with a couple runs scored for Ernie today. Miles Straw, just I don't know. I don't know what the hell is happening with him. But 2 for 4 with a couple RBIs? Yeah, a couple RBIs for him. And Davis Schneider, a big day for him. 1 for 2 with a run scored, an RBI, walked twice. Just a good day overall for him. 16 hits for the Blue Jays. 5 strikeouts. They walked twice. Pitching-wise, Jose Barrios wasn't great. He didn't have a good season opener against the Orioles, and he was no good yet again today. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned. Struck out 6, walked a guy, but allowed a couple homers. Not good for him. Nick Sandlin went a third of an inning, allowed a hit and 2 runs, none of which were earned, which I'm guessing this is the Vladdy stuff. Brendan Little, 2/3 of an inning, clean. Mason Flaherty, clean inning, strikeout and a walk, no problem. Jimmy Garcia, clean inning, 2 punch-outs, and Jeff freaking Hoffman, 2 innings, 1 hit, no walks, no runs, and 4 punch-outs for him for win number 2 on the season as the Blue Jays win at 7-6 against Baltimore, right? So, guys, that's going to do it. Actually, no, forget that. Hold on, timeout. Previewing the series against the Atlanta Braves, who are 4-11 to start the year. That is crazy. Grant Holmes gets the ball in Game 1 for the Atlanta Braves. Easton Lucas for the mound for the Blue Jays. We all know what he's been doing so far this season. Spencer Schwellenbach, who has been outstanding to start the year for them, going up against Chris Bassett, who has been outstanding for the Blue Jays this year. That's Game 2 on Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, as of right now, it says Bryce Elder on the mound for the Braves. Would that be a Gosman start? I'm not sure. And then the Jays have the off day Thursday. All right, so you know what, guys? That's going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and the dub today, because if you didn't, you're not a Jays fan. It's pretty evident. Hit the like button to appreciate it. The subscribe button. You guys not done so already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game? For the Toronto Blue Jays, Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and of course, TikTok is down below, so follow up there if you haven't done so already. And I will talk to you guys Leafs edition will be Tuesday in Buffalo against the Sabres, looking to lock up the Atlantic Division. I'm assuming Tampa won this game today. They were up 6-3 right now. They're going to lock that up. So that's that. All right. And the Leafs look to lock up the division on Tuesday. And for the Toronto Blue Jays, tomorrow night, hosting the Atlanta Braves at Rogers Center. Easton Lucas, Grant Holmes is a pitching matchup there at 7:07. Looking to win 2 in a row, get the mojo going, starting to get into a little bit of a groove, all right? Let's start this series off on a good note tomorrow night. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and the game today. Talk to you guys then.